Hello, my name's Ron Mariano. I'm the representative for the 3rd Norfolk District in Quincy. I'm also the Speaker of the Massachusetts House. I'm here today with two of my friends to discuss something that we think is extremely important to our constituents in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and that's the senior circuit breaker tax credit. This is a program that we've discussed a number of different times. I think this is probably our 10th or 12th year doing this, or maybe even more. We're a little short-handed today, Bruce, because usually it's the Three Musketeers from Quincy, Bruce Ayers from the 1st Norfolk, Taki Chan from the 2nd Norfolk District, and me, the rep from the 3rd. And this strange gentleman sitting in the middle of all this is Brian Lynch from the Department of Revenue, who is really the expert on the workings of this credit and how you can understand that. It can help you understand this and make sure that you take full advantage of what I think is one of the great benefits of our tax structure in Massachusetts. This is an opportunity, whether you file a return or not, to have the state send you money. Doesn't happen often, never happened to me. So I'm looking forward to when I hit the income limits. So I'll be the first one to apply. We have with us Brian Lynch from the Department of Revenue, an old friend who's done these. I think he's done every show that we've done. So he has a long history here. And Bruce, of course, is an old pro at this, as am I. And we're going to be without Taki, so we'll just have to work extra hard carrying the load.
We will.
And we know how much he contributes. He's the master of phone numbers, and we're going to miss him. But I understand he's giving you the phone numbers.
I'll be pinch hitting.
Oh, I think there's a lot of pressure on you now, Bruce.
There is.
A lot of pressure. I know he's home watching. He'll be watching this, critiquing us. But anyway, I just wanted to say, since we began this program, we have seen the increase of participation in Quincy, which I have the numbers for, which is truly a remarkable increase over the time that we've been doing this. We're up to 180 filers now filing this for this tax credit, and each person is getting over $1,000, $1,042 as of last year. I just think that's something that everyone should investigate just to see whether or not you're eligible. And we're going to turn it over to Brian to explain the machinations of how to determine whether or not you're eligible. But it is something, whether you get confused by this or not, that you investigate, because it'd be a shame to leave this money on the table, especially since Bruce and I voted for a huge tax credit this year that doubled, and Brian will give you the numbers because I forget them now, but doubled the tax credit that you'll be eligible for. And we did that as part of the governor's tax package. It's in there. It'll open this up for more people, and it'll make the credit larger. So I think there's all the more reason to attempt to do this again this year. So with that, I'll turn it over to Brian, and he can begin to explain the machinations of applying for this in determining your eligibility.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the invite to come out. I appreciate it. And as you said, it's really a very valuable thing for seniors in the Commonwealth. It's great. So, the more people that learn about it, and as you said, the numbers have grown. I think the population is getting a little bit older with the boomers, coming of age, so I think that has something to do with it. But as you mentioned, in the tax relief package that was passed in the fall, this senior circuit breaker tax credit, it more than doubled. It went from $1,200 now for tax year 2023, it's up to $2,590. That's the maximum. And not that everyone's going to get the max, because it's a combination of, we're going to look at your income, your total income, and we're going to look at what you're paying in real estate tax together with half of your water bill. Or people that are renting, they are eligible as well. Sometimes people think, oh, I don't own my house, I'm renting. Doesn't mean you're not eligible for the credit, because part of your rent is going to pay real estate tax.
Yeah.
And the whole idea behind this credit is it's really for seniors. You have to be 65 or older by the end of the tax year. If you file together with your spouse, as long as one spouse is 65 by December 31st and the numbers work for you, you're eligible. You're in the running. There is some income criteria that we need to look at. We're going to talk about your total income. If you're single, your total income has got to be $69,000 or less for 2023. If you're married, filing with your spouse, that qualifying income is $103,000 or less. And some folks file as head of household because they have a dependent person living with them. And that qualifying income for 2023 is $86,000. The calculation is really straightforward. It's not difficult. We're going to look at 10% of your total income, which would include your Social Security, bank interest, any distributions that you might have from an IRA or whatever you've got. Again, everyone has kind of a different story, but we're going to take 10% of your total income, and then we're going to look at the other half of the equation. We're going to look at your real estate tax that you paid to the city or town, and with that, you can add half of your water and sewer bill to your real estate tax. By adding half of your water and sewer bill, we're trying to boost the credit for you if you're eligible, trying to increase that number. And this is going to kick in, or this is going to help a senior when their real estate tax and half their water bill becomes greater than 10% of their income. That's what it's all about. Again, everyone is going to qualify, hopefully, for a different amount though, because everyone's got different income, everyone pays different real estate tax or rent. Now, for the renters, we're going to look at the income measure is the same, 10% of your income, and we're going to compare that to 25% of the rent that you pay. If 25% of your rent is greater than 10% of your income, then you're in the running for the credit. Again, up to whatever amount is your rent is higher there. The maximum is $2,590. So pretty generous, really.
Yeah. You know, this is a plan that was put together by the legislature when we were rebuilding the infrastructure in the Commonwealth around the water and sewer systems. And we had the MWRA coming online. The MWRA, which has given us the cleanest water in probably New England, according to all the environmental tests, came online all at once, and it was a major increase to the homeowners of Massachusetts, and we struggled. And Bruce and I were both around for most of this fight with trying to give tax relief to homeowners to keep senior citizens in their home, not driving them out of the state with a high water bill and a real estate tax. And this was the plan we come up with. And I would venture to say not one of us who voted for this plan ever thought it would turn out to be as successful and as generous as it has become. I think that's one of those great benefits that sort of was discovered by accident, but is serendipitous. And we're here to make sure that everyone is aware of this. So it's extremely important, and I think that there isn't an awful lot we can sit here and say our plan has worked beyond our expectations, but this surely is.
Yeah, it is. Ron raises a great point. I mean, we hear the concerns from our seniors, and as he alluded to, seniors want to stay at home. They want to be in their environment, close to their family, their friends, and it's nice to be able to come on the show and talk about money that we can give back. And we all know, we hear the stories of our seniors living on a fixed income. They might be struggling with housing costs, prescription drug costs, utility costs, cable bill costs. It all adds up. It all adds up. And Looking at some of the numbers that we saw on the screen, the average return is almost $1,000. So it's tangible. It's something that can be a game changer
Definitely.
in everyone's budget.
Pretty significant, and could definitely help someone out that's having a difficult time paying real estate tax. And that's really the whole idea. Is generally seniors are on a fixed income, but we all realize that our real estate tax seems to increase every year, and our water bill goes up. And at some point it becomes a burden for people, and that's why this credit is in place. The nice thing about the credit, it's refundable, which is great. If you file your tax return, anytime you file any credit you're eligible for, whether it's with the federal, the IRS, or whether it's with the Commonwealth of Mass, you always take the credit that you're eligible for, apply it to your income tax, try to reduce. The goal is really to wipe out the tax altogether, which would be great. Most credits, once you wipe out your tax, that's usually the end of it. That's kind of as good as it gets. This goes a step further, and that if you are able to wipe out your tax liability, then whatever the excess amount is, you're going to get that refunded. We're happy to put it right in your bank account for you, or we'll mail you a check, whatever's more convenient for you, whatever you'd rather do. So it's very, very, very easy to do.
Yeah, it is, and we hope those are you folks who are listening out there who haven't done your tax returns yet. We'll make a little note to yourself to investigate this. If you're over 65, you're silly if you don't. So please take advantage of this. We're here mainly because none of us really enjoy doing our taxes. I, for one, haven't done my taxes by myself for a long time, so I need help. And I think Bruce has some folks that will volunteer or will step up and help you figure some of this stuff out without charging you. I believe they're all free of charge.
Right.
Minimal charge anyway.
And we received a call about a year ago from a senior who was concerned about her taxes. Her husband had recently passed away. He handled all the finances. So when it came time to do the taxes, she was aware of the program, but concerned, and she was looking for help. And as Ron alluded to, it can be a stressful time. She was afraid of filing it, maybe filing it wrong. So we wanted to kind of point out there's help out there along with the financial relief. There's QCAP at 617-657-5345. In Randolph, there's NeighborWorks in Brockton at 508-591-5479. AARP, and down at our Council on Aging with Tom Clasby down at the Quincy Elder Affairs, they offer a program. I know we've done work in Randolph, so not only is there financial relief, but there's help. There's help out there to make sure that the paperwork is handled properly.
Definitely. Good, really good tip. It's good advice. And if you're watching at home and not from Quincy or Randolph in another city or town, you can touch base with your Council on Aging or your senior center. A lot of them have volunteers that are affiliated with AARP and very knowledgeable and skilled people. So, make a phone call, see if you can get some free advice. If you go to a tax professional, they're very familiar with this. This credit has been around actually for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I think on our handout that our friends at Quincy Cable are going to show you some numbers and the years. If you're learning about the credit now and you're eligible for 2023, the prior 3 years are still open, I like to say. So if you've been 65 within a tax year in the past few years, so you could still file for 2020, 21, 22. So some people, they just learn about it and they qualify for 4 years, which is awesome. So I hope that it might be your case, and hope it really pays off and that you're able to benefit by that.
That is really one of the real benefits of this program is being able to look back if you are eligible. That for the Quincy folks who are getting over $1,000 in credit, that's $3,000 as a total credit if you were 65 3 years ago. And that's, now you're talking about a real chunk of money that can have an impact on your life. So we want you to take advantage of this. We want you to say how wonderful we are and how great it was to hear that someone's going to send you money. It's why we do these things. And you're crazy not to take advantage of it. And we certainly urge you all to get involved in this. And the other thing that really has always impressed me about this, it's a simple calculation. It isn't, you shouldn't be intimidated by it. It's pretty straightforward. It's the total amount of income you're going to file on your tax return. And then you just minus off your tax rate and then 50% of
Your water.
your water bill.
Right.
You know, and you'll know within minutes whether or not you're eligible. So to me, that's the real benefit of this. This can be done on the phone. Your eligibility can be determined over the phone. If you go to one of these help agencies with your numbers, they can tell you right over the phone whether or not you're going to come in, and we'll fill it out for you. We'll show you how to fill it out, but you are eligible. And that eligibility means that if you were 65 2 years before, it's like hitting the lottery. So
Even better.
Well, it's great. I want to thank the speaker and you too, Brian, because Quincy Access TV giving us the opportunity and both of you to produce the show lets people know, creates an awareness. And your help last year when you came to Randolph talking to the seniors, based on that, in Randolph, there were 650 filers that received over $663,000. The average cost per filer received $1,020.
Wow, great.
So it's nice to be able to have the opportunity to talk to the residents, to promote this program, because we want to spread the word. These programs are out there. They're available to people. There's help if they are unsure, and it's just a great way to give back some money.
That's a good point. So please share the information that you're here today with your family, friends, and neighbors. Other people may qualify too or haven't heard about it. Kind of a funny name, circuit breaker. People always question that.
yeah.
The analogy used is if an electrical outlet is burdened, the circuit breaker is activated or tripped, and that's similar to like with the tax credit.
Save the house from burning down.
It's kind of a stretch, but that's the analogy, and that's the explanation of the name.
Yeah.
I should mention our friends at Quincy Access TV are going to provide you with the 800 number at DOR, where I work, the Department of Revenue. So we're happy to help you. Give us a call if you have a question. We're happy to explain it. Also, we're going to provide you with our website. And there's some great information on the website. Our communications people have done a really nice job with publicizing, information about circuit breaker. There's even a document that's about 4 pages long that, like anything, we're kind of giving you the highlights to make you aware of it, but there's more to it, and there's examples provided in the handout and a lot of really good information. So please check that out on the website. Just in the search field, you could type in circuit breaker or tax guide, or get more information than you probably would like find out. It's very helpful.
Well, again, I want to just take a minute and thank Brian for being here and always being here. He has been a real asset to helping us understand this and understand the benefits of it. And so we wanted to thank you personally. That as we all hit that magic age of leaving state service, I know that. I was happy to find out you were still working this year. So that,
well, I enjoy it. It's like,
why not? When you're giving away money, why would you? Look at Bruce and I. We vote for tax cuts all the time because
right.
we know it's the right.
Let the record show.
Yeah, yeah, because we like to give back money. It is, to get you out here is a real honor for us and a real help for
Thank
us
you. I enjoy it.
to do our job. And spread this information to all those folks out there who are struggling with their tax returns and just keep procrastinating and procrastinating till April comes around.
It's more exciting when you wait for the deadline.
But check out the circuit breaker. So you can do that over the phone. And maybe you'll want to file an early tax return this time.
Right.
So with that, we say thank you to Cable for helping us arrange this. Thank you for the folks who film this and make us look like we are really professionals at this. When the truth is that I'm a raw amateur. But anyway, again, thank you, and hope to see you next tax season.
Yes. Let's hope.